Hey guys, it's Jake from Wani, and I'm here with Peter Tagtgren from PAIN. Peter, how are you going?
Very good, very good. Summer is coming around the bend here after a fucking cold and dark winter, so it feels good.
Yeah, and you're coming to Australia during what's, I guess, getting to be into our winter time, so...
Yeah, but I mean, your winter is like our summer, 15 to 20 plus,
Yeah, definitely.
So, I have no worries.
So this is going to be the very first time that PAIN has toured Australia, and I guess I want to start off by trying to figure out how excited the band is to be coming to Australia.
Oh, we're super stoked, I mean, I've been there once before, like a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, I think, and did some promotions with Lindemann, but, never played. So we're really happy to finally get this stuff going, So couldn't be happier, to be honest.
Yeah, and I guess it's really good in the respect that not too long ago it seemed like the tour might not go ahead with the first tour promoters facing some issues, and then obviously there was a bit of a changing of the guard there, and Hardline Media and Overdrive Touring have picked it up. So I know that your in particular with Australian tours seems to be a bit cursed in terms of unfortunate events happening before any of your acts get down here. But how did that conversation start with Hardline and Overdrive, and how grateful are you that they were able to pick the tour up?
Yeah, I mean, I think it actually was Buzz from the other company that we had lined up last year, that he saved the whole thing, so he should really get the diploma for this. He kind of, his boss just fucking left everything, and he was standing there by himself and was like, and we talked about it, and he said he will try to save this tour by try to get other promoters to jump on it, try to sell it in, so it wouldn't be another, cancellation, because we canceled with Hypocrisy like 5, 6, 10 years ago. I can't remember, because there was another not so serious booker, so the world is full of idiots, but I think Buzz, he's the one that really saved this whole thing, by going to our media and everybody and try to get them to take over whatever was booked at the time.
Yeah, cool. And I guess just from your perspective, did it almost feel a bit surreal that once again, for reasons that were outside of your control and the band's control, that another one of your projects might not have been able to make it to Australia because of someone else's, fuck-ups?
Yeah, that's how it usually is. There is no business like show business, And then the world is full of fucking idiots, and that's how it is, and that's why, when you find a good promoter, you stick with them, I have promoters that I've been working with for 20 years, and I know it's never any problem, but as soon as you enter a new area of places, to tour and stuff, you always have to start with a new one, and sometimes these guys are more talkers than, doing the things, so it's a gambling, in the beginning, but as soon as you establish something, then you stick to it.
Yeah, so it's obviously a big relief that you guys have been able to bridge that gap and get down here, which is good. So can the Australian fans expect anything special during these shows? I mean, it is, for a lot of the people here, some of the first times that they will be able to see not only PAIN, but also yourself in show. So can they expect anything special?
Yeah, watching us for 1.5 hours, I think, breaking our necks, and, do the best we can, and the more they feed us with energy, the more we're going to go crazy, but we're definitely going to go out hard right away.
Yeah.
And we'll see what kind of response we get from the Australian fans.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be a big response. I know that there are a lot of people that have been very keen for a very long time to see PAIN come to Australia. So I guess it's really good that you're finally being able to come down here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been jonesing for this for a long time, so now it's the time,
Yeah. So PAIN's obviously more than 20 years old now. You've got the 8 studio albums under your belt. There's obviously a certain few songs that you have to play live, such as Shut Your Mouth and Dirty Woman, but how do you guys go cramming in 20 years of history into a set list for these sort of shows, especially the first time that you come to a place?
We usually, there's different ways of doing it, you know? It's either what you think people want, or you start this, what do you call it? Like, you know, announce some kind of show for people who want to go in and vote for their set list, you know, their favorite set list.
Yeah.
And, the last tour we did in Europe, we had a competition, you know, that people can vote for the 5 favorite songs they want to see, you know, and in the end, we took top 15 of that and added like 3 more songs ourselves, you know, so, it is the people who's paying, you know, and they should get what they want then, you know, so that's why we did that, and I think they actually did a competition for Australia as well, so we'll probably get the results soon, and then we go by the list.
PAIN release coming home in 2016. You guys had a 5-year break, obviously. Yourself working on your other projects, and that between that album and the album before it. It received pretty great reviews across. It was well received by all the fans, but it seemed like more of an experimental album than your last one, and I guess in particular with albums before it as well. So was that the way that you intended to write it, or was it just did it just happen that way?
This one, I really wanted to experiment a little bit, and really to, do a little bit like I did on Nothing Remains the Same. You know, you put in some dark atmospheric stuff, you know, together with orchestra things, but still, you know, you have also some typical PAIN songs, I would say, a little bit more industrial, more, I don't know, party music, you know. So I kind of did a little bit the same way, you know. I wanted to experiment a little bit on soft stuff, and but still make it very dark. So I would say this album is pretty much the same kind of feeling as you get when you listen to Nothing Remains the Same. You know, you have the slow and the more commercial ones, and it's a great mix, you know. And for me, it was necessary to do this.
Yeah, and obviously, working in your own studio, you would probably get a whole lot of different influences coming through there as well. Like different things that different artists are doing that you're able to pick up on.
Yeah, not really. Both yes and no. I don't do too much productions anymore because there's really not any time for me to do it. So I usually stick with my own stuff mainly. You know, I do maybe 2 or 3 productions every year maximum. You know, in the past I did like 20 or 30. So for me, it's important that I having time for myself. You know, that's the most important thing. That I can just develop my own shit and take time to do it. But of course, there's some bands I really love to work with and stuff. You know, and so I'll just try to. You know, every year is like a puzzle. How am I going to be able to do this and that and blah, 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 you know? And then you just have to figure it out in advance.
That's actually a really good plan. It's actually a really good lead into my next question, the every year is a puzzle, because I know that of having a look into some of the interviews that you've done before this one, going back to like middle of last year and that as well, I know that you've said that you're planning on getting the Hypocrisy album done after this lot of touring is done for PAIN, and obviously before the Hypocrisy and Cataclysm tour towards the end of the year. Yeah. So what does the next 12 months look like for Peter Tagtgren?
Oh shit, a lot of hypocrisy, I would say. We got, after this Australian tour, we got 4 more festivals this summer, because we did so many festivals last year, you know. And so this summer will actually be about, you know, enjoying your life and try to write hypocrisy songs, you know, and then finally try to get together in the studio and record everything. and hopefully get it out before the summer next year.
Yeah, what about the work with your son, Sebastian?
We're actually now he's into something different. So we have like almost a full album with a little bit more in the newer death metal kind of vibe. But we'll see what's going to happen with that. Now he's more into experimenting. He wants to do something crazy in the studio. So he sits, we go in shifts. When I walk out, he walks in and sits with his stuff, It's more electronic stuff, more experimental, and he's using the guitar like a keyboard instead. He has so many pedals and shit that sounds really crazy. So there will be a lot of more in the producer aspect what he's doing right now.
Yeah, nice.
In the sounds and stuff.
Is that still planned to be something that you're doing with him in the future?
We'll see. Right now it's laying there. It's ready to go whenever we feel like we need to pick it up, or maybe it will turn into parts for other things. I really don't know yet.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Peter, that's all that I had for you, so thank you so much for your time. But before we go, is there anything that you want to let the Australian fans know, any messages that you want to give just before you come down to Australia for the very first time?
Yeah, we're super excited to be there, and we hope everybody's going to show up, and we're going to give the best show we can ever do,
Peter, thank you so much.
Thank you.